Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another week of Sabbath School Nuggets. Now, before we begin, as always, I just want to say thank you to Cynthia for taking us through last week's lesson, Inside Out. It was an amazing study. Now, this week's lesson is entitled Teaching Disciples, Part 1. And as such, we're going to take a look at how Jesus prepared his disciples for his death on the cross and what would be expected of them once he returned to heaven. Now, our memory text for this week is well known to us, and it comes from Mark 8 and 34. When he had called the people to himself, with his disciples also, he said to them, "Whoever desires to come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." In Sabbath's lesson, we come to this issue of identity. Now, identity can be broken down into two parts. The first being how we see ourselves, and secondly, how others see us. The fact of the matter is, people tend to see us or behave towards us based on what they believe to be true about us as a person. Maybe this is why Jesus asked the question, "Who do people think that I am?" Now, the disciples told him that some people think that you are Moses or that prophet. Some people think that, you are John the Baptist back from the dead. Many people thought you were Elijah, but most people wanted Jesus to be the Messiah. Now, let's be clear here. They wanted Jesus to be their version of the Messiah, not the Messiah who would save them from their sin, but the Messiah who would not only defeat Rome, but would conquer the entire world. Now, that was a Messiah they could use. But the moment they figured out that they couldn't use Jesus, they would dispose of Jesus. And Jesus, he knew this, and he had to get his disciples ready for it. And this brings us, to Sunday's lesson. And here we find something unique in this story where Jesus heals a blind man, and we have to ask, why did Jesus have to touch the man twice in order to heal him? The best answer we have is that this healing was a parable or a lesson aimed directly at the disciples. Up to this point in the book of Mark, not one of the disciples saw Jesus for who he really was. They saw a rabbi, a great teacher, and maybe a great prophet. But that's all they saw, which is not so different from a lot of people today. They admit that Jesus existed, that he was a good man and a great teacher who, did good things, but that's all they see. The same was true of the disciples. They only saw part of who Jesus was until this day. And on this day, their eyes are fully opened, so much so Peter is able to declare, "I see it. You truly are the Messiah, the Son of God." And that is our lesson study for today. Thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow.